So, a very warm welcome to everybody. Thank you for spending your Tuesday evening with us on this very special day, 21st of April. Um, I'm one of the hosts, and I'm not by myself. I would like to introduce my two colleagues. Over to you, Daniel.
Hello, welcome everyone.
Hi, I'm Shu. Welcome.
So, three of us will be your co hosts for tonight's event. Usually, we're behind the scenes, but with this medium and with this really impromptu session to celebrate, we are now going to be in front. I'd like to just mention that 6 years ago we started as a very very small team. Uh, we were pretty green, Daniel, myself. I don't know where Shui was then. Probably still at school.
Yes,
But
I
we
was.
were led we were led by four founding members who started Standard 42, who brought along a wealth of experience in the local theatre scene. And with that, we actually embarked on this journey. We had a small network of practitioners and some companies that we got to know, and we were still finding our footing in the local theatre ecology. Fast forward to 6 years, in a blink of an eye, we are still a very small team, still that few people, but we've expanded, and we've expanded with all of you involved. We now have a family of independent practitioners. We have the support of so many theatre companies, and we're so proud to call all of you our little community. We thank everyone for your hard work, the friendships, and all the goodwill you have given to us to help to grow and build Center 42. On that note, in the announcement earlier this year, which seems so long ago, you will know that come end of April, we do return the lovely 42 Waterloo Street premise to the National Arts Council. And after renovations, it will house two entities, Center 42 and the Arts Resource Hub. So with all of that kind of coming forward, we wanted to actually spend April really celebrating the space, celebrating all the artists who have contributed so much to the space and made it the blue house that we love to call it now. We had originally planned to have a big bash on-site party full of makan, a lot of showcase of performances by the artists, and even like a little fundraiser and a yard sale. But as you know, in the last, I don't know how many weeks, plans had to shift with the measures for COVID. It was called the See You Later Party. We had various iterations of it, and the last that we stopped at, it was going to be a live stream of performances. However, that also had to come to a stop when we could not enter the space anymore. With all of those changes, we wanted to document what could have been. And you see the URL on my screen right now. There is a webpage / See You Later Party that documents all the artists who were involved in the planning and who wanted to put up performances. I'd like to take this chance to also acknowledge all these artists who have gone with us on this journey in the last 2 months, trying to plan, replan, and find contingencies. So these are the various collectives as well as the independent artists. We also have an artist from Bangkok who worked with Shochen, so he wanted to beam something from Thailand as well. And we have neighboring partners like the Touch Up Punyang who wanted to help us out, and friends and associates and ex-interns who wanted to help us out with fundraising as well as events front of house. So thank you everyone for still putting in that sweat and that effort to make this happen. Hopefully, in not too much later, we might see some of this work surface again. Hopefully, we'll still be able to find a space to congregate and to put up performances and to share in live theatre. Okay, with that, even though we had to shelve those plans, we thought that it's still a good opportunity together now, even though it's in a virtual space, for all of us to come together and just say hi, connect, and perhaps share in something common. So that's where today's We Are Sixth birthday celebration came about. We thought it'd be nice to just bring some cheer. And I wanted to say we made it halfway through our circuit breaker, but don't worry, we will make it through the rest of the number of weeks. We might do something like this again. So for tonight, the program is really simple. The key highlight is a group reading of Rights that was put together by Robin Loon. It was first staged in 2014 at our opening. Following that, it's about a 30 to 35-minute read. I'll have some announcements to share, some of the upcoming stuff that are happening. And then we'll wrap tonight's event with a toast. So have your drink of choice ready. I'm handing over to Daniel here.
Okay, some housekeeping guidelines for the reading. So for the most theatrical experience, we of course recommend watching this on a desktop or laptop computer and in gallery view, which means that you can see all the video feeds simultaneously. If you're on something mobile like your iPad or a phone, then your best bet will still be a speaker view, which means whoever is speaking will show up on your screen. To get to gallery view, you can toggle the largest button in the top right hand corner until it says speaker view, and then you can see multiple screens. Later on, when the 17 readers come on, you can fit all 17 into view by hovering your mouse in between the slide and the video feeds, and then you drag to resize it. Just to let you know, we've also disabled the group chat function, so you'll only be able to exchange messages directly with the host, who in this case is Shui. She's on standby, so drop her a message in the chat if you run into any trouble on Zoom. If you've accidentally left the party and want to be readmitted, Shu is also on standby on Facebook Messenger, our Facebook Messenger, to help you out. And lastly, Center 42 is recording this event for documentation. So no other recordings are permitted, but if you want to screenshot or take pictures of the event, I think that's okay. So if you post any pictures from tonight, please don't forget to tag us. And I think that is pretty much it. We can begin the read. So everyone, let's all turn off our cameras and microphones. This is Rights by Robin Loon. First performed on 21st April 2014 at the opening of Center 42 at 42 Waterloo Street. It was directed by Casey Lim and performed by Serene Chen, Nora Samosia, Robin Go. Scenes were performed in these spaces: the inner courtyard, rehearsal studio, and black box. And next we will have a short video that will kind of show you what the performance was like.
There was once a something like a temple on a hill, a well of sweet water. Where is it now? On my horse, my faith, I ride into the jungle. Ride, 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 riding among trees, ever deeper into the jungle. Ride, ride, ride.
He opens his mouth as if to say something,
But then doesn't. There is no point.
he goes back trying to write. He gives up. He writes a letter instead.
So marry me.
What?
Tie me up, beat me, scold me, be sweet to me, but marry me.
You're serious.
No, I don't really want you to be sweet to me. Just the other good stuff.
JC.
I'm serious.
Next to my cat, you're my best friend.
That's a problem?
John, nobody marries their best friends.
This is Buddha bamboo, Ted. It grows very large. Sometimes they outgrow their pot, and the pots crack.
But that is no good.
Exactly.
See you out there real soon.
So this is the encore version for 21st April 2020, our 6th birthday. Bright's encore will be read tonight by 17 artists. First one is Yagna. Then we have Ahmad, Aswani, Cheryl, Ellison, Ethel, Grace, Mabel, Mamtaz, Raj, Sangeeta, Ray, Serene, Shochan, Vidya, Z, and last but not least, Shai.
We begin, gathered in the Center 42 inner courtyard. Prologue, Rites of Passage.
Welcome, one and all, to Center 42. My name is Serene, and for the next few minutes, I would like to invite you to come with me on a short start of a very long journey. And I hope after this, you will continue on with this journey and will come back to Center 42 when you need a place to sit and rest, to talk and think, and most importantly, to read and to write. All journeys begin at the start. All roads begin with a name. Waterloo Street was one of the earliest streets to be constructed in Singapore. It was originally named Church Street after Thomas Church, a resident councillor in 1837. However, it caused confusion with another street of the same name located near Raffles Place, leading the municipal council to change its name to Waterloo Street in 1858. The name was chosen in commemoration of the victory of the Duke of Wellington over the French, the Battle of Waterloo of 1815. 42 Waterloo Street was
a pre-war bungalow that was a dilapidated heap sitting on a deep rectangular plot, half buried in the jungle of wild vegetation.
An artist called Ekachai Erkrongdam saw this location in 1999 and was won over. It was his hard work and dedication to housing action theatre and giving it not just a base, but a voice that gave 42 Waterloo Street its first reincarnation. When asked what he would like to have what he called then the courtyard space do, he said he hopes to stage informal readings and presentations.
Here is where you are allowed to make mistakes, he says, not quite tongue-in-cheek. 42 will be a place for young talents to showcase their works without being judged too harshly by the critics, he explains.
Before we jump 15 years to today, I'd like us to dash back 49 years to 1965 to another visionary, the late Dr. Goh Po Seng. In 1965, he set up a cultural centre called Centre 65. It had its own clubhouse in Surrey Road, writers' workshops, and programs that included visual arts exhibitions, rehearsed readings of local and foreign plays, and a literary magazine.
A nation which ignores and does not encourage its theatre is, if not culturally dead, culturally pitiable. We in Centre 65 strive to establish a national theatre distinguishable by its directness, conviction, and intensity. We have a strong correlation that drama should be an instrument of social change, that this is only pertinent to our present social and cultural needs. We also mean our theatre to be entertaining in its wider sense. Goh Po Seng.
Flash forward April 21st, 2014, at 42 Waterloo Street, in its newly incarnated form, in yet another strive to impact the lives of Singapore and the people who live here, I present to you Centre 42.
We are led into the Center 42 rehearsal studio. Act 1, Human Rights.
If you string together a set of speeches, expressive of character and well finished in point and diction and thought, you will not produce the essential tragic effect nearly so well as with the play, which, however deficient in these respects, yet has a plot and artistically constructed incidents.
Aristotle, 384 to 322 BC.
Try to be original in your play and as clever as possible. But don't be afraid to show yourself foolish. We must have freedom of thinking, and only he is an emancipated thinker who is not afraid to write foolish things.
Anton Chekhov, Letter to AP, April 11th, 1889.
What shouldn't you do if you're a young playwright? Don't bore the audience. I mean, even if you have to resort to totally arbitrary killing on stage or pointless gunfire, at least you'll catch their attention and keep them awake. Just keep the thing going any way you can.
Tennessee Williams, The Paris Review, Fall 1981.
I do not feel obliged to believe that the same God who has endowed us with sense, reason, and intellect has intended us to forego their use. The Bible shows the way to heaven, not the way heaven goes.
Galileo Galilei, 1564 to 1642.
Galileo, I Feel the Earth Move. Kok Heng Luan, Horace Sharma, Alvin Tan, and Cast. August 1997. Excerpt, Tutik and Doreen.
Don't be sad lah, ma'am. If you sad, I also sad. Why are you crying?
I'm not crying. Got dust inside my eyes.
But I cleaned the house, you know. How come got dust?
That means you never clean properly. You clean again.
Next time, I try my best. Ma'am, why are you sad?
I'm not sad.
Then, why are you crying?
I say I am not crying. I say I'm not crying. I say I am not crying. You say I cry, I cry. Now I cry lor.
Ma'am, I am very tired of you crying, you know. Sit down there, cry, cry, cry. You must confront them. Find out what the problem is. I know we women very weak. Sometimes need men to tell us what to do, but cannot. We must stand on our own, fight for our freedom.
You talk to me like that? Stand here with your legs apart.
Because last time I was in the Indonesian army.
So must talk loud, loud, is it? Loud, loud make me cry, is it?
I try to say very softly.
Ah.
You must face the problem. Things can change. We must follow Eastern forms of feminist resistance and not submit to oppressive paternalistic regimes. Sometimes I read, but only after I finish cleaning.
Tutik. Why my life so hard, Tutik?
My life also hard, ma'am. My first employer raped me. My second employer beat me.
I am your second employer.
Yeah.
Tutik, I'm so sorry.
Call already.
Pluck. Go and pluck. Tutik. Abuse me. Abuse me. Triumph, is it?
Yeah. You want to try?
Cannot. Too small. Sorry. Tutik. Sorry I eat your orange. Sorry.
Ma'am, you must come back to Indonesia with me. Together, we will work things out. We can restart my father's banana business. From small, we can make the banana grow and grow and grow.
But I have no money.
And never mind. You pay my salary, then I got money.
I go there, you pay me, is it? I be your maid, ah?
Yeah.
I don't know how to be maid. I don't know how to do housework.
They have schools for maids there. You can go there.
Hey, what is this? You want to psycho me, is it? Huh? You do. I go, then you take my house. Bring the badminton racket. Oh, use already. Boiling water. No. Iron. Golf. No. What else? To take my daughter how? My sister will take her. I hope she die today. No. I need my check first. She give me the check, then she can die.
Ma'am, I know you are a very hard woman. I know you are a bloody bitch on the outside, but inside your heart, very deep inside there, somewhere, there is this lump of rubbery softness.
Really ah?
Yeah. Ma'am, tomorrow National Day. Can I take off? I must go to the party at the Padang.
Go lah, go. Go now, go.
Ma'am, I have enough of you. I try to talk to you, make you feel good. You must reach inside yourself, find your soft spot.
Okay, yeah, I will try. What for like that, right?
Ma'am, tomorrow we go to party at the Padang, okay? Actually, I'm supposed to go with Hartati, but she flushed her ma'am's baby, so no off in lieu.
Got free gift, right?
Got a lot of free gifts. So, it's a date, okay? Forget about your sister, your daughter. Look out of the window. Ma'am, the sun is bright. The leaves are green. The birds are singing. The bells are ringing.
Actor brings out a bell. Actor brings out a set of clappers. Actor rings the bell.
Three Children by Liao Pui Tin with Christian Jit and Ong King Sen, 1988.
Actor rings the bell.
There was once a something like a temple on a hill, a well of sweet water. Where is it now? On my horse, my faith, I ride into the jungle.
Actor strikes the clappers.
Ride, 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 on my horse, my faith. Ride, 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 on my horse, my faith. Ride, 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 riding among trees. Ride, ride, ride.
Where are you going?
I'm going deeper into the jungle.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for something.
Like a house on a hill?
Yes, like a well of sweet water.
So am I. So am I. I've been traveling on my own all this while. Can I go with you?
Do you have a horse?
Yes.
Come right beside me.
Right. Riding into the jungle.
Ride, 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 on my horse, my faith.
Right. Riding among the trees.
Ride, 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 ever deeper into the jungle.
Ride.
Actor rings the bell.
Once upon a time, there were three children. Three children just like you. But they spent their early years in Kapan Road.
When they grew up, they found it was necessary to return to Kapan Road, a narrow street in Malacca town that ran alongside the Malacca River. Many years ago, years and years ago, before you were born, there were already people living in Kapan Road.
Some of those who lived in Kapan Road were born there. Others moved there from elsewhere. And some of those who had moved there had once upon a time lived in faraway villages in old China.
In Kapan Road, there were butchers and blacksmiths, coffin makers and cobblers, goldsmiths, tailors, gunny sack and bottle collectors, people who owned coffee shops, tea shops, opium dens.
These were among those who lived and worked in the shophouses of Kapan Road.
There were grandmothers and grandfathers, uncles and aunties, great-grandmothers, wife-beaters, drunks, daughter-in-law beaters there were too, gamblers and gangsters, friends and enemies, the married and the unmarried, orphans and widows, people of every kind.
It was home to a world of people.
In 2011, Fear of Writing by Tan Tan Hao was staged, directed by Ong Keng Sen, and in collaboration with Lok Meng Chue, Tan Keng Hua, Janice Koh, and Serene Chen.
As an actor, it was one of the most intense rehearsal and collaborative processes I have ever been part of. We read the text, we read about the text, we read around the text, and then we reread the text. It was in this process that I found a new connection with text and its relationship with the stage. And here is an excerpt, Act 2, Scene 10.
In this next scene, actor plays writer. He is seated as if writing at a computer, but although his fingers are poised over the keyboard, nothing comes out. He lowers his hands He looks at the audience. Writer's block.
He goes back trying to write. Nothing comes. He adjusts the computer screen. He cleans the keyboard.
He opens his mouth as to say something.
But then doesn't. There is no point.
He goes back to trying to write. He gives up. He writes a letter instead.
Dear baby, got your letter. More questions, I see. As usual, it was the highlight of my day. I have started on the play. I have sat down before the computer and typed Scene 1 and nothing else. It has been a few days like this. It has been so long since the last one that I could have forgotten how to do it.
10 years. Imagine that. Remember 2 years ago, I told you there was a play I really wanted to write and that I was afraid of doing so? Well, I have decided to write that play. Have things changed so I should be less afraid? No, it's still the same, baby. But I've decided to do it anyway.
Why? I don't really know. That may explain why I'm stuck at Scene 1. In the last letter, I didn't tell you that after I came back, it was terrible for me. Even though they treated us returned scholars very well, I couldn't take the imprisonment of the bond, the stifling atmosphere. It took 2 years for me to come home.
Perhaps what it did was simple numbness. After a while, you stop feeling the things that dug at you. Otherwise, you would go crazy. Rationalization is a powerful self-defense mechanism.
Love you, and can't wait until summer when I can see you again. Mummy is well, as you know from your online chats with her.
Love.
Papa.
We are now led upstairs into the Center 42 black box. Act 2. Righting the Wrongs.
30th June 1992, World Trade Center Auditorium, Singapore Arts Festival, Michael Chiang, Private Part.
Warren, I am 41 years old. I am not young and attractive like Lavinia or well educated like Edward. I know I've been luckier than a lot of my friends. Most of the transsexuals I knew from before have ended up being call girls. Very few have managed to find a place that will keep them for long. And basically, we are restless people.
But I am lucky with work. I have been working in a garments company for almost 15 years now. My boss accepts me. I know the staff like to talk about me, but I tell myself if they don't like it, that's their problem. It's not mine. After a while, you learn not to get affected by such things. And when you don't bother, they don't either.
I feel that I've gone through so much. I constantly expect my life to become drastically better. Before this, I was always insecure, like I didn't quite fit in. So I spent all my time and energy working and saving up enough for an operation which I believed would make me normal.
I wanted to be like everyone else so that I could finally live life like an average person and not be a constant joke. But now that I'm here, the last thing I want to be is a normal, average woman. I am terrified of becoming an average woman.
I want more than the average woman. More love, more attention. I want to be noticed. I want to be valued. I want so much to be respected. And that's when I realized that things are going to be much harder after the sex change.
It's no longer about daring to dress up in women's clothes and facing the world. It's about actually being a woman. And that's something that goes way beyond wearing a bra, beyond putting on makeup.
19th July 1962, Cultural Center Theatre, Experimental Theatre Club, Lim Chor Pi, Mimi Fan.
Miss Rani, in Singapore today, there are thousands of girls who enjoy life in the same way as I. How many like you? A dozen or 100? Surely the majority cannot be wrong.
The majority is not always in the right, you know.
Maybe not, but there is safety in numbers.
I wonder whether you really understand what I've been telling you.
Of course I do. Do you understand what I've been telling you?
I got the meaning, but I do understand it.
Just as I thought. You see?
There's no need to explain, Mimi. Just let me ask you one further question. When you have made love to a man throughout the night, you get up suddenly in the early hours of the morning, lying awake and looking at the windows as light begins to come into this room of yours. Do you find that you have woken up from a very nice dream, which you thought was like the everyday world, but only that when you wake up, the early dawn is the everyday world, and everything seems so mundane and humdrum, and you lie in your bed afraid to get up, waiting for the day to pass and the night to return again?
Well, yes. How do you know all that? You haven't.
I have, Mimi.
You have?
You look surprised.
Well, I always thought you were such a moral person.
Does a person become bad because she has made love? Do you regard yourself as bad, or are you trying to apply a double standard? For you, it's enjoying yourself. For me, it's just being very nice.
9th July 1993. The Black Box. SPH Young Playwright Series 2. Eleanor Wong. Mergers and Accusations.
So, marry me.
What?
Tie me up, beat me, scold me, be sweet to me, but marry me.
You're serious.
No, I don't really want you to be sweet to me, just the other good stuff.
Jesse?
Yes, I'm serious.
Next to my cat, you're my best friend.
And that's a problem?
John, nobody marries their best friends. Straight women marry assholes with major personality disorders and complain bitterly to their best friends who are gay and would love to marry them.
I can be an asshole if that's a qualification. You've seen my major personality disorders, and I'll listen if you want to complain bitterly to me about me.
Oh, Jesse, I've never loved a man the way I love you.
I've never loved a man the way I love you.
God, help me. Am I actually considering marrying a homophobic man-child?
But such a beautiful homophobic man-child, our children will be stunning.
This could be a really bad idea. We could really screw it up.
Not more than any other couples.
More, much more. And what about Rachel?
What about her?
What if she comes back?
I don't know if I could live with her again if she did. I know I still want her, but I would love you and our children, and that would be that.
Why should I do this? God, 9 months each. And how many do you want again?
Oh, me. Am I worse than the women you've been with? I'll be proud to be seen with you in public. I will say I do. I will commit to spend the rest of my life with you. And I won't spend an hour in the bathroom every morning.
I don't know, JC. I'm not sure I will be a very good mother. You're going to hate this.
I'm going to take care of you and be your best friend and bring up our children.
I'm fucking scared. You're telling me that maybe I can see my dreams come true.
I am your dream come true. You just haven't seen it yet. Don't close your eyes. Look at me. Tell me that you don't think this will work. Gloriously, joyously, incredibly Broadway musical style, Elle, happily ever after.
I don't believe I'm about to say what I'm about to say. You know it's much more likely we'll die trying.
At least we'll die together.
I hate all the movies where they said it because they always do.
Will you?
17th August 2001. Drama Center, Fort Canning. Action Theatre. Desmond Sim. Autumn Tom Yum.
Thanks for coming to help me with this.
It's my pleasure, Kunana.
You mean pleasure?
Yes, Kunana. Pleasure.
Noted. Pleasure.
Pleasure.
That's right.
Pleasure.
Yes, we are learning fast. Okay. I need to put this into a larger pot. We need to pull the whole root fully so the roots won't break.
Why, Kunana? The Plants look okay in this pot.
This is Buddha bamboo, Ted. It grows very large. Sometimes they outgrow their pot, and the pots crack.
That is no good.
Exactly. So, now that you've come to America and stayed for a while, do you like our country? What are your future plans, Ted?
I have no plan. I just stay with Joe.
Come on, Ted, you are a young man. Don't you want more? A home? Don't you want to settle down in your hometown when you've saved enough money? Where is your family from?
Mother from Lampang, father, I don't know where.
Ah, you know, Ted, here's a thought. How would you like to go back and live happily in Lampang?
Lampang life is hard. Many poor people. Job not easy to find, and I've not saved enough, so.
I have money. I will give you enough to live there happily. How much do you need?
Kunana,
Just tell me how much you need and I'll give it to you. I just want you to do one thing in return for Joe.
for Joe.
If you take up my offer, you must leave immediately without saying goodbye, and you must never see Joe again or contact him.
Kunana, ขอบคุณมากๆครับ But I not work in massage parlor anymore.
Ted, I know you're getting an allowance from Joe. One way or another, you are still getting money for services rendered.
You think I not good enough for Joe?
Let's just say Joe needs stimulation above the belt too.
I think you forget one thing.
What is that?
The heart, Kunana. It is above the belt. You care for plants very much, Kunana. But why not you do same for people?
We never cease moving. Perhaps sometimes, in some ways, cities may need to move back in time to reconnect with loftier visions, deeper insights, and greater energies. When we articulate ideals of the new age, of transcendence in ethnicity, language, and culture, we seldom do remember that much wisdom and strength has long been buried into the deeper recesses of man's collective memory.
Cities flourish, cities crumble. The road to the future seems to be reachable sometimes only through the tunnel of our profound past. We must not prematurely congratulate ourselves that the castration days of Zheng He is long gone with the demise of the imperial age. Indeed, castration has been recreated by modern man, and that castration is not always inflicted by others. There is now a modern version called self castration, which can be and has been effected simply by people permissively heaping affluence and comfort upon themselves.
Here, Zheng He's mirror is relevant in a deeply painful way, and the cruelest realization may yet be that, even as modern eunuchs, we might find ourselves far inferior to one castrated man 600 years ago. For human progress does not always follow the linear movement of time, not if compassion and humanity are the decisive measures.
Kuo Pao Kun,
Born 1939,
Died 2002.
Epilogue. Writer.
I have come to realize of late that dreaming has become the center of my life.
yes, dreaming all by myself, alone, painfully alone, and floating away.
But this loneliness is a potent one. It is an inviting loneliness. There is a vast space all around me, endless, haunting, unknown, but promising and seemingly reachable.
Ride, riding into the jungle.
Ride on my horse, my faith.
Riding among trees.
Ride, ever deeper into the jungle.
Ride.
Ride.
I have a fear of this unknown, and yet this fear is also part of the yearning to depart, to leave the place I'm so used to, even when I know what I'm going away from is a terrible insanity. Yes, every day I long to return to my nightly unknown.
Was he also like this? Was he also like this when he was sailing across the vast ocean in the dark of the night, looking into the eerie distance, alone at sea, forgetting at least for the moment the insanity forced upon him, forgetting the pain created in him by the removal of his manhood?
In these dreams, the days were no more just fun, no more just cheerful and full of hope.
A pre-war bungalow that was a dilapidated heap sitting on a deep rectangular plot, half buried in a jungle of wild vegetation.
A nation which ignores and does not encourage its theatre is, if not culturally dead, culturally pitiable. We in Centre 65 strive to establish a national theatre distinguishable by its directness, conviction, and intensity.
In these dreams, being alone, I was able to look at myself, look inside myself, and look through myself. And as I dived deeper and deeper into the stark loneliness of myself, I felt I had become closer and closer to him, closer to this 600-year-old legend of a molested and incarcerated man.
Remember 2 years ago, I told you that there was a play that I really wanted to write and that I was afraid of doing so? Well, I've decided to write that play. Have things changed so I should be less afraid? No, it's still the same, baby. But I've decided to do it anyway.
Do you find that when you have woken from a very nice dream, which you thought was like the everyday world, but only that when you wake up, the early dawn is the everyday world, and everything seems so mundane and humble, and you lie in your bed afraid to get up, waiting for the day to pass and the night to return again?
I am your dream come true. You just haven't seen it yet. Don't close your eyes. Look at me and tell me that you don't think this will work. Gloriously, joyously, incredibly, Broadway musical style, Al. Happily ever after.
Yes, each night, through my own fear and uncertainty, I discover more agony in him, more respect for him, and more suspicion of him.
And the more I discover, longing for him in the day and taunting him in the night, the more I discover, the more I am convinced that we were related, closely related, so closely related that I had to be a descendant of the eunuch admiral.
The end.
And that was Rights, read tonight by the 17 wonderful readers. So thank you so much to the 17 of them. Please take your curtain call. You can bow, you can do something. I'd also like to invite Robin and Casey. Just turn on your cameras just to say hi. Robin and Casey. So Robin is the playwright of this script, and Casey has been advising us for this encore version. So hi, you can wave. We'd also like to thank the following people for their help in putting together tonight's Zoom party. So this list of people here, and also what would have been our see you later party. And also, if you're interested, here are the plays that were referred to in Brights. If you'd like to find out more about them, there are plenty of resources over on center42.sg. And over the years, we've kind of dabbled with these plays in one way or another, either through responses or discussions. So please head on over to our website to uncover all the documentation. And I think right now, Yenling has a few announcements to make.
Hi. Thank you all 17 of the readers for tonight and the past few sessions of rehearsals. It's been so wonderful to hear it all read again and through your voices. Thank you so much. Yes, I do have some announcements to share. So earlier we mentioned about the See You Later party. There are a couple of projects that have gone on to develop further in its trial stages and testing stages. And next up, I'd like to share two particular works. I'll hand over to the artists themselves to share more about it. So I'd like to invite Pei Tin and Jean to turn on your cameras. They will be sharing about Love Letters to 42.
Hi everyone, my name is Jean. I'm a playwright. Together with my partner in crime, Pei Ting, we've had the privilege and the opportunity to work at Center 42 over the past 6 years. And at 42 Waterloo Street, we found the space to imagine, to create work, and to build friendships with other artists. So this is a really special place to us, and I believe for many others in the community as well. And as we've seen from the many Facebook posts and personal sharings from different individuals. So when the Center 42 team asked us to come up with a project for the See You Later party, we thought it'd be meaningful to call out for love letters to 42, to allow people to share their personal experiences and reflections on what Center 42 and the Blue House has meant to them, and to document these experiences in an online repository following the handover. So I'll pass it over to Pei Ting now to give you details of this open call.
Thanks, Jean. So, hello everyone, I'm Pei Tin. And so, yes, like what Jean said, we really like to celebrate our adorable community formed, which is you guys. And don't know whether you can see this, but happy birthday, Center 42. So, if you have a personal memory related to a specific space in Center 42, do write it down in about half an A4 page in any language or even dialect of choice, and let us know how to credit you by 1st of May. And you can send your love letter to me, and my email address is tongpeitin@gmail.com, and you will find it also in our open call. And all love letters will be stored online as a repository of memories, and some may even be selected for future performances. So for more information, check out the open call in full on center42.sg/love letters. Thank you. I think I'll pass it on to Gua Ki.
Hello. So yeah, hi. I'm Gua Ki. I'm an independent theatre practitioner. And with me today is also Bernice, Bernice, who's an independent dance artist, and we've been working together in a joint practice since 2018. So initially, we were going to present Touch You Later as a kind of movement or tactile response to Center 42's idea to have the See You Later party. But clearly, with the spread of COVID and all the restrictions around physical distancing, we were thinking a lot about how people now relate to touch, which is also part of our joint practice that we've been exploring. And so as a result, we started developing a piece a little bit more as a standalone performance that we hope helps to create a pocket of space in which people can kind of connect or reconnect with their own bodies, and also to hopefully discover new things about our homes and living spaces. I don't know if Bernice, you want to share a little bit more about the format of the piece?
Hi. So we developed this piece called Tactility Studies, which is a separate show. And the piece Touch You Later is informed by our understanding from Tactility Studies. And some people here might have seen that show. And we're thinking of Touch You Later as a performance that is enacted online. And it's our hope that people can connect to touch, even though it's highly mediated, and that we can also connect body to body, also even though it's highly mediated. The performance is about 30 minutes long, and you can see that there are up to 5 people, 5 audience members, and one of us, either Guaki or myself, will be activating the performance.
And we wanted to present it on the 30th of April because that would have been Centre 42's last day at Waterloo Street if the circuit breaker hadn't come into force. So yeah, with the circuit breaker being extended, if you're feeling bored or feeling cooped up in your own home, I think this is a really good space to be able to move around and find ways to touch. So if you're curious, please, approach either Bernice or myself, or also arrowing the Centre 42 staff, Yending and Shu, who participated in our trials. So you can find out more details from either us or from the Eventbrite link provided here. So touchyoulater.eventbrite.sg. And that's it. I'll pass the time on to Daniel.
Okay, hello, I'm back. Just 2 more announcements very quickly before we get to our toast. The next thing that we have is the Vault Ties That Bind. So this Ties That Bind originally comprises 2 performances which respond to Eleanor Wong's play Wills and Secessions. So that's the sequel to Mergers and Accusations that you heard earlier. The performances were devised by 11 students of the National University of Singapore Theatre Studies program over the course of this semester, facilitated by Robin Loon and Nora Samosia. They were originally slated to have a public presentation of their performance on 18th of April, but that was cancelled. Instead, the students have adapted their performances for Zoom, which we recorded in a private session last Friday. In the coming weeks, we will be publishing documentation of the students' work and processes, which include images and footage of a rehearsal and Zoom presentations, and their reflections on having to continually adapt their work to increasingly stringent social distancing measures. So most of this documentation will be published on the Centre 42 website at the URL you see right now, but we will also be posting it on our social media channels, so stay tuned to our Facebook, our Instagram, and Telegram, and they're all at Centre 42. And I think the last announcement is with Yanling.
Yes. Very quickly, so we have been also prepping some workshops that will be held online. There are 2 in development, but we have a quick share in case any of you are interested or know of friends who might be interested. The first one is developed with our collaborators in the Asian Dramaturgs Network, Guaki, Corey, and Charlene. It is about rethinking our practice and the practitioner, especially in these times. So that's one very interesting workshop that will spend 3 months. The second one is digital and tech related. So that's about the augmented reality, using that as a medium to capture body, space, and time. It's facilitated by the Doodle people. I think they are on today, so we can wave hi to them with assistance from Shou Chen. So this actually was born out of a discussion, a preliminary discussion that we had with Pei Tin and Jean with love letters, trying to find ways to also manifest that in the virtual environment. So there are these 2 workshops coming up. Details will be announced at a later stage, so we'll keep everyone informed through our usual media channels. With that, I'm going to hand over to Shu for the next beat, where everyone comes on for a toast.
Hi! Okay, now is the time for the group toast. We're going to toast to 6 years of Centre 42. So this toast is also being recorded. So if you like, you please turn on your cameras now. Turn on your video. It's the bottom left-hand corner. Great. Okay, people are starting to appear. And you can unmute yourself as well. Okay, and then get ready your mugs and drinks. It doesn't have to be an alcoholic drink. It can be water. It can be anything you want. Okay. You can also stay invisible. It's fine, but it'd be nice to capture this because there's so many of us in this room.
Just to let you know, Shu has written a special toast for the occasion.
Okay. So I know not all of us are cheers people. So I'll say cheers, but feel free to say whatever variation you want. Okay, yam sing is fine. Anything is fine. Okay. Ready? Everyone ready?
Yes.
Okay, go.
Yes.
Toast. Is to many more years
Yes.
of documentation
Many
and
more
archival.
Archival.
Drink
You,
water.
Center 42.
Thank you.
Toast. Wait, Shui got 2 more toasts.
To Center 42 for being the answer
sorry,
to the
huh?
theater scene.
Okay, wait.
Two
Shui
more,
got stuff to say.
Later you can add your own toast in if you want, okay? The second toast is to the continued promotion of our local works and artists. Cheers!
Just that.
Okay, and finally, please hold your cheers pose for a little longer because we're gonna take photos, screenshot, and all that. Okay, the last one is to the creation of more exciting local works. Ready? Cheers!
Hold it.
Yay!
Hold it. Okay, good. Yay.
Yum, 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 yum,
Good. Got it.
Ready?
Any other cheers? Any other toasts? Any personalized messages?
Thank you, Center 42, for housing all of us and taking care of all of us. Yeah, we love you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay, great. Okay, so maybe now Yeling can bring up the screen and yeah, we really want to thank you guys for coming to this Zoom party and for being with us today on a Tuesday night. I guess in times like these, we now more than ever need to come together as a community to support one another, especially since, you know, the latest announcements. Whether or not it's through attending events like that or through other means. So in light of the supporting of the community, if you'd like to stand in solidarity with other communities that have been affected, please consider donating to the various causes out there. 2 of them are listed on the screen here, and hyperlinks have also been sent into the chat. Right. The first one is, of course, the Pasar Glamour Art Aid Fund, hoping to raise funds for performing arts workers. And then the second one is Home for All Migrants, which is a cross-sectoral partnership across NGOs, government agencies, and citizens to help the migrant worker community. Yeah. And of course, if you have a little bit more to give, and if you would like to help us continue the work that we do at Center 42 and to help local theatre for the next 3 years and beyond, do visit the link in the chat to give Center 42 a little birthday donation, a little birthday ang pao. Okay, so finally, if you want to keep up with updates for our programs that were announced just now, please also follow us on our social media pages, which I've sent the link in the chat as well. Thank you so much for coming here and being here with us today. Thank you to the readers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Center 42. We know this is not goodbye. You'll go stronger.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Our home.
Oh, we have a birthday song.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but
Does that work on Zoom?
It'll be very laggy, but possible.
Try. You can try. Okay. Serene, you want to count us in? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Center 42.
Happy birthday to you.
The most
We don't have
distorted birthday song I've ever heard in my life.
What did Daniel bake today?
For the first time, we don't have cake, but we will have cake when we're back.
Yeah.
Yay! The wine never
Yeah,
bake.
promise.
That'd be made by
You
Daniel.
had, you had the whole of
Daniel is going
CD
to
to
be a
make
very
a
big
Daniel,
cake.
is that a promise to make it?
Recorded. He documented
Yes,
it.
as soon as we can gather again,
Wow.
there will be cake.
It will be
CD
cake made by
stands
Daniel.
for cake
Waffles. We want
baking.
noodle waffles.
Okay.
Cake baking.
Waffles, dumplings, cake,
I
you'll have it all.
waffles.
You have a feast.